Hi friends, this is Bijou Baker. I'm Maria. I am grubbing out today because I'm doing a craft. And when I craft, I grub out. Grub up, grub down. I'm grubby, and that's okay. Um, I am going to bling-a-ding-ding the heck out of my KitchenAid mixer. Oh my goodness, I see it here. Now I gotta hope that it turns out finished the way it turns out here, in which case it'll blow your mind. If it doesn't, then it'll be cool. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to sand and prepare the mixer for painting. I'm going to spray paint it so you can see the techniques that's used to keep it lump free and smooth and flawless finish. And then I'm going to show you how to bling it out. Here's what I'm going to use to decorate it. Okay, so look at that. Isn't that cool? It is so pretty. It just looks like a zillion little rhinestones. Let me take it out of the package so you can see the sparkle in it. Ooh. Can you see that? Can you see the shimmer? So many color facets in it. And it is, it's adhesive. So the whole sheet it sticks. And this is a really good stick. It's really sticky. So it's going to stay. I've been teetering on putting some, oh gosh, E600, E6000, that really strong adhesive cement. I think I'll put a very thin layer of that and then put this on. Because the last thing I want is for these little gems to fall into the cake that I'm mixing and then break a tooth. But, so you really want to take extra precautions to make sure stuff like that doesn't happen. But yeah, the camera doesn't do this thing justice, but gosh, they're so pretty. There were, let's see, this is this is what it is. I got it on Amazon, and their Craft Buddy. It's a 1,500 gems per sheet, 5mm clear. That's I'll snap a picture of the tag so you can see. And yep, so now what I'm going to do, and I've been playing with this and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it and save time. I'm not going to worry about saving time because I want it done right. So I had originally put this whole thing right up against the mixer, and then I was going to cut and figure out how to make it adhere. But we're looking at a dome. We're working with a dome, and anytime you're trying to cover something with a dome, you have to take your time with it. So I got 5 of these sheets. So I'm hoping 5 is going to be enough. If not, I'm going to order more because I don't want to skimp on this. I'd say maybe 80% of this is going to be covered in bling-a-ding-ding. So it's going to be so pretty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit and watch TV, and I'm going to cut every piece of these 1 strips. I'll do 2, and then there's a section where I'll do like maybe 5 or 6 if it's going to be flat or somewhat flat, or you know. And if it's not, then I'll cut them down. I'll cut them down. But most of the sheets are going to be just in single rows, so I can hear them on 1 row at a time. And then when it comes time to rounding the dome parts, I'm really going to just cut those pieces off and just do 1 gem at a time to fill in, you know. So it'll be fun. It'll be pretty. So let's start. All right. So to get the label off the back, I peeled it off, and it was pretty, it was on there pretty good. So I got this nasty looking razor that I only use to remove labels. I don't use it for anything else, so I don't really care what it looks like. And I got some Goo Gone. That's the best stuff I've ever used. And I literally just got a little bit of on there and then rubbed it all over, and I let it soak. Maybe about 5 minutes or so. I just put a good amount on because this particular glue was really gunky, really gunky. So Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start masking things off. I'm going to mask off everything I don't want painted, which will be everything that's not white. This here, I'm not going to mask off that little corner. What I am going to do is take a little bit of Vaseline on a Q-tip and cover that. Vaseline paint's not going to stick to Vaseline. When it's all dry, I can wipe it off. Yay, right? So let me start that. Okay, so I'm masking this off. Now my masking tape is a little bit longer than the part that I want to cover. So you see the little tiny bit hanging over? Don't worry about that. I'm going to show you how to fix that up so nice and clean. And this is the part, yeah, you really do not want to hurry, because if you hurry it and you overlap, or, you know, white on white, you're thinking you're not going to really see it. But once you put the color on and then you remove the tape, you're going to see white, and you don't want to. So take your time. And I'm getting everything. Sorry about this the way it's being put up here, guys. I have neighbors and it was a busy day, so you know, you just work around it, right? When you see that me putting the tape down and then picking it up and putting it down and picking it up and putting it down, I'm recentering it. So if it's not lining up the way I need to, I lift it and make it do what I need it to do. These air vents in the back, I'm not going to do anything but paint over them. That's a pretty essential part of this machine, and I don't want to interrupt it in any way. Remember, any part that does not have masking tape will get painted. Okay, so everything's masked off. I've got my X-Acto knife, and I'm taking out that piece of masking tape that I don't want. I want that piece painted, so I'm just taking a slice right into the groove underneath where the metal strip is. On both sides, actually all around it. So wherever I don't want the masking tape, which means wherever I do want paint, well, that goes away. I get a nice clean edge, and the paint will adhere to that. Even this little circle, that screw, I've never ever needed to access that screw, but with this finished product, if I ever have to, it's not like I'm just going to go out and get a new one. So, and then I got a perfect circle right there. Remember, everything gets masked off. If it's not masked off, it's going to get painted. This Vaseline trick was so clever. It's something I came up with, and I use it all the time. It wipes right off when I'm done. You don't want to forget about the cord. And that's going to be a little tricky when it comes to painting too. But just wrap it around with some more masking tape on both sides. I do both sides because I'm a little particular like that. Okay, so I'm going to paint it inside. It's windy outside, and the last thing you want to do is use your spray can in wind. You'll paint everything without knowing it. So I've got extra turntables, don't ask me why. And I just covered it with parchment paper, because you know I love my parchment paper. And then I'm gonna, that way I can turn it as I go. I don't have the best working station, but you make do with what you have, right? All I did was I just got a big box, kind of cut that. Let me show you. Just cut half of it out, and then it kind of folds onto itself, which is kind of neat. So I've got that little square dome right here, cave, corner, whatever. So, all right. The last thing I want to cover up is my little tools there. So I'm just going to take a plastic bag. No rhyme or reason. I just want it covered. So whatever you got to do to cover it. Yep, that's not centered. Ah. Yeah. Yep, that'll work. That'll work. I'm just gonna put some masking tape on that and keep it in place. When you're working with food items, the last thing you want is to have non-food safe product around your food safe product. All right, a little tricky. All right, and since I'm not going to paint any of that, I don't really care what it looks like. I just don't want it covered. That's good, and that's good, and I've got control of that. And I don't know if, let me do this part, because I think what happened on the last video clip, I think it just came off, or I don't think it taped right, but if it did, then you've seen it twice. So all I took was a piece of masking tape, and I'm just using a blade to give me a clean line. And I did the same thing for here. This was hanging down a little bit. I took the blade right here and peeled off what I don't want, because I want this painted but not this. So the masking tape was wider than my space. I guess I'd better check to make sure you can see this. The masking tape was wider than the space I need to cover. So the hardest part, and the part you really want to take your time with, is lining it up. All right, so you see how it overlaps? I'm just going to take an X-Acto knife and give me a clean line. And that's it. And I did the same thing for every part except for the screws that I want to leave silver. The color that I'm using is a champagne pink. It's really almost like a tannish, but it's got a little pearlescent in it. And it's a paint and primer, so I kind of like that. And a painter told me that the best way to shake that bearing is to shake it upside down. So, shake, shake, shake. This particular brand had a little lever that blocked it from spraying. Where are we? So you kind of push it in and slide it out, and then you're free. Can I tell you, I am so nervous. I was not nervous about sanding it. I was not nervous about taping it or taking any parts off. But this part makes me nervous. And I've done it a bunch of times. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does. When you're spraying, when you're painting with a can, you want to start here and end here. You never want to start here and end here, because like I said in the last video, another video, you'll get blotches. So let's say, well, here, let me show you. Sorry about the reach. Okay. Yes, I really did just have this handy. How sad is that? Okay, so let's say that this is the circle that I want to spray. Well, no, let's just go here. I'm going to start spraying. Okay, there are blotches right here, and those are a lot heavier than the center. Look at that color. Can you see it? That's so pretty. Okay, so as a matter of fact, I'll keep it here. All right, so I'm going to start here and I'm going to end there. Now, I don't want this, so I'm going to lift that up. Wow, that is such a pretty color. I'm excited now. Okay, I'm not nervous anymore. All right, now to do, you do each corner very carefully. And this is not centered. All right. So again, this is all I'm concerned about, not the rest of that, okay? Wow, I really had no idea this was so pretty. I kind of hoped, but you know, it doesn't always work out that way. I think I like that there. Can you see where I'm starting and ending? Beyond the project. And this is going to be a few coats, so I'm not going to hurry it. And front. Let me hang this up. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to use this as my to control so I can get underneath. Nope, I'm not going to mess with it. That's all right. And I don't care about that because all right, that's all I'm going to do for now. I want the top because when I come back to do the second coat, I want it to be even. And there are spots that aren't covered. That's all right. That's all right. It's covered enough. So I got my table. All right. So that is coat one. Believe how fast this dried. It was only maybe, I'd say, I'll exaggerate and say half an hour. And I took this tape off the plastic bag, and I didn't like that white look, so I went ahead and I put some masking tape right there and taped that up, spray painted that. I like that much better. The rest of it, I lifted this up also so that I can paint inside, and I gave it one last coat. I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours before I take it to the next step. This is a much better angle of the beads. Aren't they pretty? And even that doesn't really do it justice. There's just so many pretty colors on here. I can't wait to use it. Okay, it's done. It's dried, and I've actually just put a clear coat of finish on it. And man, look at that color. If that is all I did to it, that would be a really beautiful looking mixer. So we're going to take off the tape. This part is fun, but it's sticky. Now, any part that I don't like the finished edge on, I'll go by with a little paintbrush. I'll spray a dab on. Well, that's stupid. I'll spray a dab on some a paper plate or something, and then just get a real fine toothbrush and clean it up. I'll show you where I mean right now what caught my eye. Okay, you see that spot right there? I'll just touch that up with the marker, with the paintbrush. Anything else that all right, that too. I missed that. I missed that piece of masking tape. Anything else that if there are imperfections, I'm not going to worry about it because it's going to be covered in that beautiful bling. So let me touch this up, and then I'm going to put put these back. I'm not going to do that yet until I'm done with it, but I want to make sure that they're safe and ready to go. This I will put back because I'm not going to do anything different to this part of it. This part down to here, I'm going to leave as is. Most everything else is going to get covered. So let me touch up my spots. I'm going to take off the tape, touch up the spots, and then I'll show you how it finished. Okay, I can see the finished project and I'm getting so excited. So I got a couple bristles, soft bristle brushes. One really fine and the other one a little bit longer and flatter. I don't know which one I'm going to use, but I wanted something that was going to be soft because I don't want to leave streaks, but if I do, I do. We'll work around that later. So time to work. That means I need to see. Okay, so what I did was I just took a bottle cap and I sprayed a little bit of paint in here. Now there's a lot of the alcohol in here, so I'm not going to get a whole lot of color. That's all right. That's all right. So I've loaded up my brush and I'm just going to dab. When this dries, it'll smooth out. Plus, it's going to be covered, so I'm not real worried about that. I just kind of want to get rid of the white, but I don't want to wet too much. So let me show you how I sprayed the can. You do want to make sure that you shook it pretty good, and then not that. It's hard to do this while I'm looking at the camera. All right, and I don't want a lot of overspray, so I'm going to stop there. All right, so this is the spot I'm going to concern myself with. You see, that's got, where are you? That's got a good amount of color in it. That's all I'm going to do. It looks a little hokey right now, but once this dries, I'm going to do it one more time because I don't want it thick. But I promise when it's done, you won't know. So, okay, so that part is done, and now I'm going to sit and let that dry a few hours at least, because the next thing we're going to bling it up and make it pretty. When I was slicing the sheets, I had to take the gunk off my scissors several times, which tells me that adhesive is really strong. So I'm going to try to just use the adhesive. I'm always wanting to go extra for quality's sake, to make it better, to make it last longer. That's why I was going to use that rubber cement. But I'm telling you, this stuff is really sticky. So I'm going to try that. But are you guys having fun? I'm having fun. But of course I would be, right? So that color is so pretty just by itself. I'm still going to bling it. I'm still going to bling-a-ding-ding it, baby. Okay, so what I'm doing is I've turned my sheets upside down and I'm cutting them into strips of 2. Some of them are going to be cut in strips of 1, single strips, just so that I have more control. Because I'm doing domed and arches and whatnot, it's very tricky to cover it with large pieces. So I'm making them small so that I can work with it. Okay, baby, let the fun begin. Well, here it is. What do you think? Kind of cool, right? It took a long time. This was very time consuming, but I do it twice as long to make it look just as good. So I love it. Simple old KitchenAid, not no more, baby. All right, my friends, until next time, happy baking.
Ah, that was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.